Atoms exist, and they connect together. But how? Well, here's a quick explanation. But before I explain them, I have to explain valence electrons. Each element has a different amount of electrons, but some elements can have the same number of valence electrons. Valence shells are the outermost shell of an atom. These shells harbor the electrons which every element has. The maximum amount of electrons that can fit into the valence shell is 8, and every element strives to reach the perfect 8, since it makes the atom much more stable. This leads to the chemical bonds. The two types of bonds are ionic bonds and covalent bonds, and there's a pretty distinct difference between the two. Ionic bonds are when a metal and nonmetal combine, and one atom gives an electron to the other atom to fill the octet of the other atom. For example, say you have two friends. We'll call them Timmy and Bob. Bob likes Pokemon cards, and he only needs one more card to finally finish his binder. And Timmy has one card, and he doesn't care too much about Pokemon cards. So he gives Bob his one card as a sign of friendship. Now Bob finally can finish his wonderful binder. So that's pretty much ionic bonding. However, covalent bonding is completely different. Instead of a metal and a nonmetal, this bond happens when two metals decide to combine, and instead of one atom giving the other atom enough electrons to finish one octet, they share electrons to both reach a full octet. For example, this time, both Bob and Timmy have Pokemon cards, and they both filled half their binders. But instead of Timmy giving Bob the cards, they decide to share it and put them all into one binder, which fills the binder and makes them both happy. Yay, friendship! And that's about it. If you couldn't tell, only certain types of elements can bond in certain ways. Only nonmetals can bond with nonmetals and metalloids in covalent bonds, while only metals and nonmetals can bond in ionic bonds. Alright, that's all I have for explaining bonds. This took me about 3 hours to fully do.